around there with you. Any luck, Dick? See anything odd out of place?
No, Mr. Kent, I can't find anything in this room that wasn't here before.
I can't make this add up, Dick. Because I'm so sure Batman wouldn't have walked out without leaving us some hint or... Wait a minute! What's this?
Oh, that's a recording machine. We use it to record important phone calls or some special radio program.
Highly illegal, Dick, but I see. When's the last time you and or Batman used it? Do you remember?
Oh, sure. The time we were trailing the Umbrella Man.
Oh,
yeah! I mean, we expected him to call up and try and make a deal with us, right? He did, and a recording of his phone call helped to send him to jail.
Yes. I remember that story. That was several months ago.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, you must have used it since then.
No, that was the last time. I remember because I put a new spool of recording wire on the machine.
Recording wire?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And on the machine just a day or two before Batman disappeared. And we had no occasion to use it since.
Well, there's something recorded on that new wire. Dick.
Huh? Holy smokes! Is there?
Really? And this may be just what we're looking for.
What do you mean, Mr. King?
If the wire was blank a day or two before Batman disappeared, and now there's something recorded on it, it may mean Batman used the machine when he was with the stranger on the night he disappeared.
Stranger?
Yes, that's what I said.
You mean Batman might have recorded something on the machine to tell us where he went?
What? Oh, yes, could be. Let's play that recording back and find out.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum.
Script is Kent and Robin Heavy. Eagerly, Clark Kent and Dick Grayson prepared to play back the recording. Will they hear anything that will give them a clue to the disappearance of the famous Batman? Will they? Man on second, 2 outs. Well, we'll be back in a moment to find out. You know why? Because you don't know me. You don't know me. And we're going to find out in this dramatic climax of today's episode. So just keep listening. Because you don't know me.
Stand by now for more contest winners. British rapidly, breathlessly read all the names of towns and cities, and list of 100 contest winners for all of the United States for a minute and a half. And that's all we have time for today, gang. And if you weren't among those, tough crowd. So, don't fail to listen next week. Bum, 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 bum.
Okay, now back to the adventures of Superman and famous Batman study. Clark Kent, you know he's Superman, right? And Dick Grayson, who is Robin, are about to play back a spool of wire discovered in a recording machine in an effort to find a clue to Batman's mysterious disappearance, adjusting the machine. Kent calls out.
Okay, Dick, turn it on.
Right, Mr. Kent. Here goes.
Yes, I'm Bruce Wayne, and that's a strange request. Mr. Jones, you said your name was.
Oh, that's Batman, Mr. Kent. It's Batman.
I know. I've met him.
Jones is right, Mr. Wayne. But strange or not, I insist that you come out to my place with me now to discuss that matter.
Oh, that is really great. You created 2 awesome phone sounds. Is that the man you heard with Batman that night, Dick?
Uh-huh.
But...
That's you.
Well, I am intrigued by that sinister voice you have on the phone. But I have to ask, why? Why can't we just discuss it right here?
Because, as I explained before, I prefer to discuss such an important matter in my own home. Or in some neutral neutral place if you prefer.
Well, no, let's not get this. I do believe a home would be appropriate. You think I might have some spies around here, huh?
Let's just say I prefer not to take chances.
Oh, I see.
What are you talking about?
Shut up, Dick!
No, you shut up!
I don't
You don't talk to me that way!
I was talking to Dick!
I'm sorry.
know.
Quiet, Dick! We'll find out!
All right.
You amuse me, Mr. Jones. You don't want to take chances, but you don't hesitate to ask me to take them down. I mean, take them. You come here with some cock and bull story.
It's not a...
Stop it.
He said God.
Don't you have a cosplay competition against the narrator?
Oh, good Lord.
It's not a cock and bull story, Mr. Wayne. I've told you the truth.
She said cock and bull again. It sounds so lovely in an English accent. Maybe, and maybe your name is Jones, but you must admit it sounds pretty fishy. Like Sunset Boulevard smell fishy.
Ew.
Sorry, I digress. I mean, telling me as little as you have, and then asking me to go somewhere with you, alone. How do I know you're not leading me into an ambush? Bush.
Why should I?
Well, I am pretty rich, you know. I mean, you've seen me on magazines and stuff. I mean, you may have some ransom ID in your hand or something.
Gosh, listen to
Shut
it.
up, Dick!
I feel like there's something happening outside of this recording. That's sheer nonsense, Mr. Wayne, as you'll find out. When we're wasting time, will you come to my place?
Sorry, Mr. Jones, I am not a coward, but neither am I a fool. You'll have to tell me more.
Okay, I'm a woman. But anyway, if I refuse...
Well, now I just lost all interest right now. All interest went out the door all of a sudden.
I think you will, Mr. Wayne, because if you don't,
Oh, then what?
well, then I shall be compelled to reveal to the world that you, Bruce Wayne, are indeed
Yes?
that superhero that has a name beginning with B. I forgot. Batman.
What? What's that?
Christopher, come on, then.
Great Scott!
Yes, Mr. Wayne, I will publicly reveal that you, Bruce Wayne, and the famous Batman are one and the same.
That's never been a plot I've ever seen on TV before.
Shut! Clark Kent and Dick Grayson stare at each other in wonder and dismay. As the recording completes its playback. Who is the mysterious and threatening Mr. Jones who has somehow discovered the secret of Batman's double identity? The secret Batman cherishes, much as Clark Kent guards his own identity as Superman. And what has happened to Batman? Tomorrow, Kent and Robin
Your prostate
receive an even greater shock. So don't fail to listen, fellows and girls. Be sure to tune in, same time, same station for chapter 2. As Batman's great mystery on the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Comics magazine or whoever's owning them this week, and brought to you on Monday through Friday at the same time. This program man came from New York, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York, New York. Stay tuned for your usual station for Captain Midnight, which follows in just a moment. And right after Captain Midnight, you will hear Tom Mix and his Ralston Straight Shooters, and they're not gay at all. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Shut up, Dick.
This is the best part when everything comes together and you get to watch people like this do a crazy pass on a script like this.
Classic book. I mean, just genius, yeah.
I mean, these are why these are the best people in the business and the top people and top teachers too. They know how to act and they're really nice and giving with their time. So,
Well, we gotta go.
Cosplay contest, cosplay contest.
Hey, everyone's dressed as baseball players.
so I haven't asked this question in a while on panels, but to give an idea of what sessions are like, sometimes you might have a session from hell where it goes a little too long, where you blow your voice out. So does anyone have a session from hell story that they're comfortable talking about?
I would, but it would blow my voice out. All my characters blow my voice out.
Yeah, well, you
Yeah.
can do it, though.
Yeah, well, I drink a lot of water.
Yeah, water is important.
Invader, I don't drink honey, I drink hot water and lemon.
Oh, green apples.
Yeah.
Green apples are great because
Yeah.
kids and I can get really smacky.
Snacks. I hate
I'm a
snacks.
snacker, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's great.
You're over here with the snacks like that now.
And what's the stuff, Jeff, that I love so much that you have?
Nimjom lozenges,
Nim
or
Jom.
what we call in voiceover, Hulk juice.
Oh my gosh, you go to 99 Ranch or
Yes.
anywhere, and it's amazing. You ever had it before? It's almost like a elixir. It's phenomenal.
There's a Chinese herbal drop that I picked up actually during it was a game session. Might be allowed to talk about it now, I don't know. But it was one of those first-person shooters where you're constantly dying, and then dying some more, and then killing some people, and then dying. And they had literally, and I'm not kidding about this, a vat of lozenges. And they're just like, you want these? I'm like, okay. So I found them on Amazon, weirdly enough. And Tracy, do you remember the name of them?
Not at all.
Golden
Rich's Beautiful Life.
Uh,
Gosh, I'm trying to think.
but they're,
Secrets.
Vocal zone?
yes. What's that?
Vocal zone?
One more?
The vocal zone?
Nah, it wasn't something that obvious.
Opium.
Crack.
That might have been it.
All I know is performance enhancing.
But yeah, I think it was really took like the edge off. There's something I travel around with also. It's a little like an ionized throat spray called something like Performer Secret or something like
Yes,
that.
because singers use it.
Yeah, which is really
Fantasy
really
XIII.
nice. It just kind of gets the pain out a little bit. Yeah.
Nightmare sessions. Anyone nightmare sessions?
I don't really have a nightmare.
No.
I mean, but the sessions I was thinking of was.
Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going?
I love the super.
Where are you going? Oh, eh? Gotta get back to Canada, sorry. Eh?
Wait. The girl with the Supergirl outfit. I wanted the whole outfit. That was awesome. That is
Thank you.
sick, dude.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it until you left.
Gail would love it. I'm sorry, Gal. Wait.
Okay, so now we can talk.
You directed me on a lot of sessions.
I don't think they were nightmares.
No, not at all.
What could be a nightmare client too?
Well, I mean, for me, the nightmare session is one where the director doesn't know anything about acting.
Or they're mind reading you.
Well,
Yeah, well, there's one from column A, one from column B, yeah.
But
Because usually if they don't know anything about acting, they will finally. Can you just, no, it's not, hey, you. It's more like, hey, you. Hear the difference?
here's a great
You were directed by Pink Floyd?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There's like a video with the guy that's playing Santa Claus. Who is that? And they're trying to tell you ho ho ho, and they're like, no.
What
Try
do you
it
mean
again.
playing Santa?
Oh, he was. I'm sorry. You're right. They casted the real Santa Claus, and it's a really funny video. If you can check it out on YouTube. They keep telling him, no, ho, 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 and he's like, ho, ho, ho. Yeah, it's really cute.
I think he's turning like red.
Yes,
and
he's
like,
literally just
sweating.
melting. Yeah.
Those are really true, though. You
Yeah.
do have those.
It's like a workout.
Yeah, I got a piece of direction once, which was, can you make it sing-songy but not?
Oh, God.
And, you know, being a director myself, I said, and I never talk back to directors, and this is the only time I ever did, because no, just no. So I stopped and I said, if you can show me how to simultaneously do something and not do it, I will do that for you.
Oh, dude, I mean, how could you not say that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, sing-songy.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude.
And to their credit, they're like, that wasn't a very good piece of direction, was it? Not your finest today, no. Yeah, and then I gave them something. They're like, yeah, like that. Okay, moving.
You know, it's so cool is we have our interpreter down here. I just wanted to, because I studied American Sign Language.
Also, it's just 3 of them, right? We have 3
So
of them.
awesome.
Well,
So
that-
awesome.
That's great. Yeah.
That is
There's a whole team.
fantastic.
There's 3 of them.
Imari?
Yes, sir. God, I don't. You know what's weird? Because when we say story from hell, the industry's so it's so mixed in there. So you never know what kind of day everyone's going through. So it's like either I will say I did something really bad, but after Breadwinners, when I blew my voice out, I didn't learn it this time. But I was in a room full of people. It was for World of Warcraft. We're doing a cinematic thing, and Fred was there. Fred Tatasero, I don't know if you guys know who he is. The Holmes. He's awesome. And he was there. A few other deep-throated gentlemen were there. Everyone had voices that kind of were either manlier than mine or maybe just a little bit under, but still, I want to show them that, you know, I could still match up, you know? So we all got in front of a microphone and we had to be orcs heading into battle. And we had to be like, raw! Like, it is all over and over and over. It's like raw. And all I hear are people in my ear, so I go louder. And I blew it out, dude. I blew it right. We had to take about a 30-minute break, but 3 of us.
And then they had to clean up the pieces from the floor.
And then they cleaned up all the blood on the floor from us, like, those on the floor. But that was when, and that actually lasted for like 2 days. I was like, I can't remember. You try to put it, you just try to put it out there. It's competitive, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to, you know, part of doing VO. And you have pride in your craft, and then you also want to have fun with your peers. So if they can do it, then you should be able to do it, right? And sometimes you go a little bit overboard. Kind of at a party when you drink too much, and you get the helicopters, you can't stop it. You guys ever get that?
I was in one of the Final Fantasy XIII or something.
Yeah. And it was a group of us, and we were supposed to be doing these screaming, yelling things, and I had a job the next morning, so I just kind of stood in the back of the group, and I went... I mean, there were 20 people in the room. I don't think they were going to miss me, but I got $400 for that. Now, where are you going? Where are you going? That's all right. We didn't like you anyway.
I do.
Remember to donate to prostate charities.
Yes.
I had to do a lot of effort sounds
Yes.
for Assassin's Creed, so...
And they beat you actually in the studio.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they do. They normally just, you know, they get the hidden blades and they just stab you until you make sense.
Yes. When I did that,
I mean, I was more injured all over my... No, I mean, not low voice out sound, but I did, so when they were doing just, I guess, a voice of a story, because they hadn't recorded any sort of catalogue female sounds for Assassin's Creed, I had to do all of them, so this was hours and hours and hours for weeks on end. And this was just a funny story, so they're going through and it's, you know, kick to the leg, big kick to the leg, small kick to the leg, smack to the face, medium smack to the face.
Surprised at being smacked in the face.
Yeah. You've not been smacked on the jaw, the elbow. Yeah. Anyway, so then they say to the groin, and they play me some examples, and I said, oh, so it probably wouldn't sound like that for a girl. And all the men in the booth were, okay, so just do what it sounds like for you. Okay, well, because the sounds that I was getting was like, like really, I was like, it's just more really painful, you know, it's like, ow.
I broke my wrist once.
So,
I did. I forgot about that. I broke my wrist
In a
this
session?
year in a session. Yeah, I was doing the mocap and the voiceover at the same time, and I was playing a zombie. And the great thing about it was the apparatus that I had in my head was the microphone, so I could move around freely. And I was like, you know, whatever they're doing, and I fell back. And I landed on my left wrist, and I felt it go, and I'm like, okay, I think I broke it, but I can't let anybody know. You know, I didn't want to let anybody know. Exactly. So I just remember, thank God the rest of the session was like 10 minutes. But oh my gosh, I waited actually a month because my doctor was like, oh no, if you can bend it back and forward, you're fine. And I'm like, oh. By the time I got to that. So I didn't tell anybody though, because I was actually too, But luckily, thank God, there was only a few minutes left of the session. But yeah, that was breaking the wrist was dedication.
I killed a guy
Shut it.
once.
I think the strangest thing I had to do to blow my voice out was for one of the Black Ops games. I had to be shot with electronic bees.
Oh my God. How did that sound?
You guys, Black Ops 3, you guys know this one? Yeah, so, I'm not gonna do it because some brother's gotta work in the morning.
Okay, that's right. They gotta make
I
some
had
money.
gigs.
Sausages.
Do it, yeah, okay. No, it was just a lot of sort of, it's that surprise and then the pain. So it's like, for my fellow artists up here who have been burned to death in a game, it's a lot like that.
Drowning.
Burning is similar to getting shot with electronic bees because it's that, hey, something hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, that really hurts. And by the end,
You're
tasting copper in the back of your throat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The flesh is
Because that is, guys, what actually happens, is that there's a point where you're screaming and your vocal cords basically go, huh, check, and you actually start to hemorrhage. And so we'll sit there and go, tastes like B8. And that means, congratulations, you are now bleeding from the throat. Yeah, which is why we had these discussions in the last contract negotiation. If anybody was wondering, that was why. We had to go to the powers that be and say, here are actual photographs of what happens to your throat in those things. And it was like something out of like a horror movie. You're like, oh, look at that. Oh my God!
You guys got actual doctors to show these pictures.
Yeah. Ear, nose, and throat docs who came in and said,
you see these pictures here? Yeah, they shouldn't be doing this. You're making them do this. Don't make them do this. No.
And we're like, no, it's okay, just shorter period of time. It's okay. No, I'm not going to scream for you.
I still love you.
Go on.
So finally, to end the panel, I know we covered this a little earlier, but what's some advice you could give to people out there who want to do voice acting? And if you're teaching a class, where can people find you?
Wait for it. I killed him.
Killed the guy. First his prostate fell out. You can find me at Richard Horvitz Classes, plural, not plural, but it's plural. Alan H. Kimmel, not Hank. Richard Horvitz Classes, CLASSES @gmail.com. My advice is if you want to get into voiceover, I agree with Richard and everyone else on the panel that start with improv, start with acting classes, start with sketch comedy, start with all that, because to me, the voice is really the last thing we do in voiceover. It's the cherry on top. The first thing we do is we break down our stories, and we know why we're talking. We find a reason for the words that we say. And once we know those words, then we can do whatever we want. Or as I like to say, when you know why you say what you say, then you're informed. No, wait, I just lost my own thing. When you know why you say what you say, then you're informed, and it allows you to play.
It's all part of his 5-step program.
Yes.
I agree with everything that's been said. You can find me on, except I haven't killed anybody.
Now we know of.
Well, that's the idea, right?
Time to say.
You can find me at voiceoverdoctor.com, all spelled out, voiceoverdoctor.com. I also, on my website, I do a little talk show called The Voiceover Doctor Show, and I've interviewed people like Richard and others on this panel.
Do you take insurance?
I do, yes. Yeah. People like Bill Farmer and directors and things. So it's an entertaining little show. We drink a lot of tequila and we have fun. Yeah, I have a lot of people who come to me and say, you know, I really do great voices, and it's really not about the voices. I'm going to echo what Richard said. It's about the acting. I mean, I've had the privilege and honor to direct people like the Richards here at the table, and Heather, Maurice LaMarche, Rob Paulson, people like that over the years, as well as a few celebrities here and there, aside from voiceover people.
Like who?
Ed Asner and Rose Marie.
Marie.
Shit. And so, what's very interesting about it to me, and what I've learned over the years as a young actor as well, those are some of just the greatest actors I've ever worked with, because you don't have all this image in front of you to work with. You only have your voice. So I always say that voiceover is the purest form of acting. It's the purest form of acting because you got to be good. If you want to do this, you got to be good. And if you're good, they'll give you a lot of money. So, but it's a long road to hoe. It's a very difficult career choice. Be patient, take time with it, do everything that everybody's telling you, but do it because you really love doing it. Do it because you just want to do it. Don't do it because it's a good part-time job to make extra money. Okay? There you go.
Very, very, very good advice. And I have studied with this man, and these gentlemen are just, in fact, I was talking to Richard. I've been in this business for a long time. I've been very fortunate. And I was talking to Richard, and I was like, you know what? I want to take an animation class with you because I haven't done that in a while. Even though I'm still, you know, you book this, you book that, I still want to, you know, sharpen my skills. So I think that it's, again, what everyone has been saying, that acting, you know, I was very lucky to do theater for years, musical theater. I went on and studied with improv and theater companies. But, you know, it really is something like Bill was saying. It is the purest form of acting. You don't, you know, we're not talking heads. So you have to give the story, and you have to make that come to life. You know, the favorite character. Okay, who's your favorite character? Do you have a favorite character that you love in a game?
In 3, 2, 1.
Metal Gear. Okay, good answer. Okay. Well, see, it's like, you love those characters because you believe they're alive. To me, when I play video games, it's like I started off with Lara Croft. I was like, oh my gosh, she's real. And I couldn't wait to get back to that world and to that escape. So you're creating that for people. You're creating this wonderful world that people can escape or they can identify with. And that, you know, because I'm a total geek. I'm a geek and I'm a freak and I'm proud. So, that's really what it's about. It's bringing those characters to life, and whether you're doing commercial or you're doing a video game, if you're live announcing, you know, it's real, it's genuine. That's what it's all about, and being able to create that world for people. And that's the biggest thing for me, is when someone comes up to me, and I've got just a really quick story. I have a very dear friend of mine who is in the Marine Corps. And he came up to me and he said, you know what, Heather, he goes, I really have to thank you. And I said, what are you talking about? He says, well, I played Metal Gear when I was in Afghanistan. And I go, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, I was able to escape what was going on and identify with the characters. And it just hit me. I was like, oh my God. You know, to me, I'm gonna cry. That just hits me. To me, that is the ultimate thing. Is that helping people or changing people or letting people feel like you've done something. You know, it's not about IMDb credits. It's about, you know, money. Money. Yeah, shut up, Dick. It's about money, which is great. The money is fantastic. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. But to be able to do something that you love, and to be able to do something that someone will come up to you one day and say, you know what, that character that you did, man, I gotta tell you, I was going through such a hard time, but when I listened to you, everything's okay. I got through it. So it's those little gems that that I can just attest to. So don't give up.
Where are you going?
Wait a second.
Don't give up! We said don't give up! Sit down! Yeah, good luck with your career!
Find out later they're accountants. Holly, yeah, I mean, there's not much to add to what has been said before, but I will say this: if you, there's a common misconception that I've come across a lot in people getting into VO biz that the first thing that they want to do is make a demo. That should be the last thing you do. You know, I often, when people find out I teach, they immediately were like, "Oh, I have all these things I have to talk to you about." And so it's like, "So I want to get into this. How do I make a demo?" I'm like, "You don't. You do everything the people to my right just said. You get good, then you forget about getting good, and you get great. And you study and you learn how to act, and then you figure out how to apply that to working in front of a microphone. And then you think about making a demo, because that's when you'll have something to demonstrate."
Wait a minute. And if you study with people like these guys, you're going to be honest. Bill, you're just, Richard and Richard. Demonstrate. But these guys are going to tell you whether you're ready or not, and they're going to be very honest with you.
It's true. I actually turn down about 2/3 of the people who come to me who want to make a demo, because I'm like, don't spend your money on me. You know, I charge $1,400 to make a demo. Don't spend that on me. That's like a bunch of good classes. Go take classes. Come back to me. I'll still be around. But if you want to find me, because I do demos and I teach private classes, you can find me at a little thing called Absolute Voiceover LA. AbsoluteVoiceoverLA.com. There's a whole story there. I won't bore you with it, but it starts with AB, so I'm at the top.
Wait! Yes! Thank you so much. I'm going to tag all of you.
What advice? Oh my God, dude. I know, right? Dude, it's so random how you get into this field. It's so good. There's no, everyone, it's like a fingerprint. Everyone's story is extremely unique to the individual that's living it out right now, you know? Every struggle different. I would just say, be smart about where you invest your money, right? If you're gonna do this, be prepared to invest in cash, okay? Like, this is not a quick thing where you just all of a sudden say something and someone's gonna magically, you know, grab onto it and discover you like that. You're gonna have to put yourself out there. It's a grind, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been fortunate enough to be put into like a position where my first thing were first things that propelled me to other things, right? But everything is different, you know? People are like grinding out $250 a recording tape just so they can make their rent, you know? And this is not everyone doing this is making, you know, lots of money. You gotta do it for the love, right? You don't do it because, oh, I think I can sound good. Like everyone says, you do it for the love, you do it because to you it's not work. And that's, I think what surprised me the most is that I was doing all this stuff. I was hustling out, I was taking out garbage, putting up plates, staying till like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, you know, checking in with clients, making sure they were good, thinking maybe I'll be a producer or whatever. And lo and behold, I was actually training to become a voiceover actor, something that I've been wanting to do my whole life, but I was scared. And that's another thing too. You have one life, right? If you have one life and you're doing something that makes it miserable, then do something that makes it happy, right? So if you think voiceover is that, then give yourself that to your life. If you're doing something that you're frustrated, don't get scared, because the fear will only keep you in your own current environment, and you'll just waste time being scared. Like, you have to, bit by bit, get yourself out of your shell. So if this is something you've been thinking about, it's not unattainable. Take some classes first, figure out where you fit in, look at animation, look at commercials, look at promo, see what they're hiring, and get it on. If you think, God damn, maybe after this you're like, I don't know if I want to do VO. Well, then figure out what you want to do and don't waste your time, right? You got one life, and life is fleeting. And all of a sudden, like, you'll just be like, damn, I wish I would have done that. And woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? So anyway, that's my advice.
All that stuff.
Be English.
Moving. I don't know. There's so many things I could say, and I really like what everybody's had to say about this, about following your heart and following your dreams and doing all the things. Two things that I think has maybe helped me. I'm still figuring out what makes somebody successful, or how I can get better, and how I can move into things. I've done a lot of video games, and I'm now trying to move into animation, and it's a different thing. And you need to figure out what skills work for that. I did a lot of drama on TV and film, so I bring everything down small. I know for animation, I need to rev myself up, because that's not naturally my personality to be that big. So I know when I have to go into that stuff, I went in for Disney and DreamWorks this week, and I really have to understand that genre and put it into a different pocket. But I think my advice would be, don't listen to people that aren't going where you want to go, who walked the path before. You don't listen to, I hate to say it, but family and friends that don't work in voiceover and have no freaking clue about the thing. I mean, if I listen to half the people that said, don't move across the other side of the world, Victoria, I mean, are you crazy? Why would you do that, But I did. Not
Takes
I wanted me to go with my family or live in England. But
So I just have this image of your friends going, dear, don't do it, you're cray-cray. I had a feeling.
Yeah, I think.
Cray.
Anyway, but yeah, just listen to people that are further up the food chain, I always say, and listen to them and take their advice. And anybody that isn't ahead of you and where you want to go, don't listen to that. There's so many people that have advice for you, and I do that now, even with TV and film. I'm also. I think it's good to go take classes and be as best you can and keep doing all that stuff, but also I'm listening to a book at the moment, it's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And I have a personality that, I got all A's in my exams, and I try, and sometimes I need to try a little less, and be a little cool and try just go, okay, what's the job, the truth, what these guys are saying, find the truth of the character, and then just relax, know that you've got it, be confident, and do that rather than like, oh, because then all your, I don't know about me, but it's ugly if you're like really, really trying, and it's a bit desperate, so just, bear that in mind, get good, know what you're good at, and then relax, and say, I got this.
I wish I took Victoria's advice, because I just took a class with Charlie Adler. I don't know if you know who he is, but I love, if any of you guys give him a shout out on Twitter, just tell him that Imari loves him, and that he's phenomenal. What he said is exactly what Victoria has hinted on, which is basically like, when you get a side copy, you sometimes get a description of the character. Sometimes you're fortunate.
It's longer than the copy.
Yeah, and it's longer. Sometimes you're fortunate to get a picture of the character, so you can kind of, in your head, you kind of go like, what can I put on that character to make it come to life? Because you're looking at the picture and you want to bring that out the page, right? But sometimes you just get a bunch of little words that you're like, what the hell does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a gargantuan figure with like an intensity about the person, Like, how does that equate into your voice? Well, you can't read the age range. You just only can go off